I think we're getting Philly.500 on too. He wasn't supposed to, but this is going to be, if Philly.500 does show up to this may be one of the most contested and heated conversations on what's going on, because I'll tell you what, the Eagles now look like the Cowboys. There's drama in the building. There's drama in the building. You know, I had all these questions here for Mark, by the way, who does a fabulous job. Hey, and me and Xander say it all the time. We love the guy coming on here. I do, actually. That doesn't mean we're going to go soft on his ass. But I do want to ask him a Cowboys perspective on this. And then we'll give Philly.500s. I'm not taking sides here on this. But don't tell me there's not shit going on in that building. Please hit the like button. Here's Mark Holmes.
Oh. Hey, how you doing today, man? What's going on?
A little bit of my show lately. Have you been watching today's show a little bit?
Your show?
Yeah.
No, man. I've been kind of busy. You know, I'm out here helping old ladies and things. What did I miss something?
Okay, so I want to throw something at you. So,
throw some shit at me.
An employee of the Philadelphia Eagles came out yesterday and is a sideline reporter of the team and is a known legendary sports talk show host named Howard Eskin came out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, Howard's big time.
And Howard came out and said this, that if Jalen Hurts does not have a great 2024 season, they'll begin the process of Carson Wentzing Jalen Hurts.
You know,
that's an employee of the team.
Yeah. Yeah. How's it feel to be the Cowboys right now?
A lot more calmer and a lot more quieter. No, I'm not kidding here. I want to show you a little bit of the drama that's gone on.
No, actually, I have been watching because, see, I was going to say I don't need to give you my perspective because I'm just a hater. You know, I'm gonna be the one that's always going to say that your team has got issues, like with Kellen Moore in the offense. And when they came out and said 95%, now somebody's saying it's only like 25%. Sounds like Jalen Hurts maybe sees the writing on the wall and wants to get out. He's trying to hit the eject button. He's trying to stir some shit up and maybe want to get out.
Here's some of the comments, and you broached on one of them there. So the head coach, Nick Sirianni, a couple of weeks ago came out in a press conference saying that we're going to blend the old and the new. And Jalen Hurts came out and said what you said, that the offense is 95% new.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen was asked if he likes the offense. He goes, it's too soon to see right now because I'm not sure. The employee of the Eagles came out and said, no, it's 20% new. Then the employee of the team came out and said, well, what I'm hearing is that if this thing doesn't go well in 24, they'll start the Carson Wentzing of Jalen Hurts. I'm just saying to you, I mean, it just sounds to me that the Eagle front office, and you had Jeff McClain, a reporter for the Inquirer last week, going like this and saying that last week the front office was not happy with the way Hurts was not playing ball with the head coach. I mean, you are the perfect person to ask because your entire organization is built on drama.
Yes. But here's the difference, though. I think our drama.
The Eagles win?
Well, no. Just hold on for a second. I think the drama that's built up for the Cowboys is done to keep everybody talking about it. I don't know that all the drama is necessarily as real, okay? Because I think here's the thing. If I'm Dak Prescott in this contract thing, why do I need to be pressed on this thing? I've been paid before. I'm either going to get paid by the Cowboys or I'm going to get paid by somebody else. I got the best agent that's handling this stuff. I'm playing right now because I love the sport, and I'm going to get paid big time by somebody. There's no pressure for me. This stuff that's going on, this shit feels real.
Yeah.
Okay, because I don't see Dak Prescott having any issues and talking about Mike McCarthy or, that Micah is, throwing anybody under the bus. I'm not seeing the front office throwing the players. You got this as like a circular firing squad, because I'm sitting there trying to understand this, because didn't they cut Nick Sirianni off at the knees? Basically take the play calling, and basically nobody knows what he's really doing as his job title, right?
He has.
Now they're kind of defending him because Jalen Hurts kind of said, I don't know.
Now listen.
So wait a minute. Which side are you on? Are you a Nick? Are you supporting Nick? Or are you supporting or not supporting
I'm not
Nick?
supporting Nick at all. But I will tell you flat out.
No, I'm at the front office.
Okay. No. I think they're supporting Nick. Now listen, what I want to do.
After you cut him off at the knees.
You make a point here that your stuff is manufactured by Jerry to keep the Cowboys relevant in the news because they haven't had postseason success, correct?
Yes, I will say that. It doesn't
you
sound
think
great,
this is real with the Eagles and Jalen Hurts?
Bro, there's no way that this shit is just spinning around and it's gonna be, kumbaya moments with everybody. I don't
believe there's any kumbaya moments. I want to get
it sounds like
in here.
Hurts is probably flustered from every year having to spend his summer learning a new fucking offense.
Absolutely.
I just got paid $51 million, and now I got this guy coming in here who's trying to make me a pocket quarterback with combination routes, and now I got to learn this shit.
Okay, let me get Philly.500 in here now.
Oh, I was going to wonder. You know what? How you doing, Philly?
So why are you talking family business with a guy that's an outsider?
You know what?
Why are we talking family business with this guy who literally is so delusional that he is now saying that everything, that all the drama that ever comes out of Cowboy land?
No, I didn't say all of it. No.
Let me tell you, you should be scared right now. From now till training camp. Yeah, because that's when your Cowboy players land in jail, which is the only time your team is on the news. We are
wait a minute.
Cowboys go to jail
bro.
Now.
Hold it.
That's
Did you see the clip of your linebacker getting walked down by a stripper?
Yeah. I thought it was funny. I literally watched it live. It was hilarious.
You need to cut him and sign her.
No. I thought
he's gonna make it.
Wait a minute. I thought the linebacker took a role from Howie Roseman and just showed you not to pay Hassan Reddick. You don't pay the hooker. Hey, that's all right, man. You just don't pay the hooker too, man. Wait a minute.
I just think that she's faster than him. That's what bothered me the most.
That's why I say cut him and sign her. Okay.
She's fast.
She might be better than Kobe Dean, bro.
Dude, wait a minute here.
Yeah.
You see, listen, always remember something here with Mark. He'll always, he can't go back to winning. It's always about the Dallas Kardashians.
Right.
So it's nothing. But this, in my opinion, I agree with one thing he said. You know what it is? This seems real. And I want to play the timeline out here for you. 2 weeks ago. And by the way, I know that you're dumping on Sirianni as well. And Angelo Cataldi yesterday said, way to go, Jalen, for telling the truth about shit. And I do think he's telling the truth. I think he's fed up. 3 weeks ago, Nick Sirianni comes out and goes, we're going to mess the new and the old. Jalen comes out and goes, this is 95% new. Do you like the offense? He goes, too early to tell. Then you've got Howard Eskin, an employee of the team, coming out going, no, it's 20%. Dude, when you're an employee of the team and a sideline reporter, you're getting that from somebody inside the organization. Then yesterday, see, he's not a talk show host anymore. He is paid by the Eagles. He comes out and says, if they don't see a better year in 24 by Jalen, they'll begin the Carson Wentzing. I think that's a euphemism because Wentz he demanded a trade, but they still went out and drafted Hurts in 19. I'm going to ask you, with all of this coming out in this offseason here, do you personally think that meltdown and the internal structuring of how that happened, you think this thing is not carried over, at least into the offseason with all this noise? Hey, shut up, Mark. You have nothing to sit on here with that Cowboy thing.
I'm just enjoying, bro. I'm just enjoying the implosion. Okay, you know what? I'll tell you what. before he answers, I'm a hater, so don't take my word for it, because I know people are trying to spin this. Okay, so let me just play a little clip of somebody who's trying to justify everything that's going on.
Don't let him play him. Mute him. Mute him.
Me, I stand by
Mute him.
what I said, and I know that a lot of people don't agree with me.
Mute him.
Most people
Mute
don't agree
him.
with me, but that's
Mute
fine.
him.
My interpretation of what Jalen Hurts
Mute
said
him.
was
Mute
simply
him.
this.
Mute
He
him.
was not
Mute him.
trying to
Mute
trash
him.
Nick Sirianni publicly, but he
What?
also
Is this
wasn't
guy
trying to
dumb
create
or what?
And
Wait a minute, Mark. Wait a minute. I don't
He's
think
playing a
that's
clip
a
of
problem.
me while I'm here
actually
live.
upset. He's not lying enough.
Does that make
And
any
then
sense?
when he lies, they
Does
love
this
it.
make any
And
sense?
then
This
what do
guy's
they do?
playing a clip
They'll
of me.
protect it at all costs.
You gotta
They'll
mute this
protect the
shit.
lie, but
Okay.
they won't give you.
So I'm going through here, Philly, and using what you say, where you're trying to spin.
Why are
this
you
shit.
talking? Why are you speaking?
Why am I speaking?
Yeah,
Here,
why are you speaking?
Because I was
Why
brought
are
on
you
here
playing
to
a
speak.
clip
let
of
him
me
answer.
while I'm frigging here to answer the question? Explain that to me.
Go ahead, Philly. Go ahead.
Go ahead,
I want to
Philly.
hear. I want to hear
Ridiculous.
your
It's
take on
absolutely
this.
ridiculous.
Go ahead.
You know, I mean, dude could cherry picks videos all day of me. Listen, the situation with Sirianni and Jalen Hurts is this. I really think the Eagles spilled the beans with this whole thing because I think they reacted to what Jalen Hurts said in a way they didn't need to. And I didn't even believe that until a day or two, until Howard Eskin comes out. You are right. Howard Eskin works for that organization. Now, I don't believe his threat. I just think he's talking out his ass.
No, wait, no, Philly, don't you think? I said this, Philly.
But the fact that they're letting him go out there and say something, there's a reason why.
Listen, I agree with you, and I'm going to tell you what I think they did, because Jeff McClain last week also reported from the Inquirer. I was just telling Mark that they went like this. By the way, I'm going to get to your fucking ass too with that Dak deal, and all you guys sitting around with the Cowboys. Hang in here for a second.
Okay, we'll get
to
to
it. But the one
it.
thing that McClain did say, that they were pissed off. Maybe this was a subtle shot across the bow here, Philly, where they went like this to Jalen. Play along, go along, or you may be moved along. And it's an idle threat. It doesn't mean that they're going to, but they're letting him know through an employee who goes on. That's the flagship station, a 50,000-watt station of the Philadelphia Eagles, where a guy, hey, Philly, they tell the coaches and the players to retract comments and to quantify their statements. You're not going to have this guy go out there and retract something if it's not real? He's the employee of the team.
Listen, there's no way Howard Eskin, who always is an apologist for the Eagles, comes out and says something if there's not something to it. Like, I think the front office was pissed off about the comments Jalen Hurts made. But I think they totally overreacted. And I also think that this thing was much more of a media question, and they gave it a lot of validity by coming out and leaking that they're upset. When it was leaked out that the Eagles front office wasn't happy, I shoot it. But when Eskin comes out and says it, then I think there's teeth to it on some level. Now, I don't think they're going to get rid of Jalen Hurts or anything like that. I don't think it really matters. I think Eskin is just saying something to basically say that the organization isn't pleased with Jalen Hurts not having Nick Sirianni's back good enough, which I don't understand at all. And I don't understand how they could be upset at Jalen Hurts for saying what he said. He did not say anything wrong. And if you look at that original question,
the organization,
the
organization of the Eagles is going through what winning happens when things happen and you're so close. You know what happened with you guys? You guys go along the same way. Right. Nothing.
You know,
and the only thing you argue over is contracts.
It's that's true. We argue.
You don't argue over wins.
You know what's interesting? You know what's interesting right now? You know where my quarterback is? He is at tight end U, where all the great tight ends are all working out and everything else.
What quarterback?
You know where Jalen Hurts is working out right now?
Contract extension.
Okay, but that's okay. He's going to be fine.
Quarterback goes into the final year of their year with no contract extension signed.
Dak Prescott has before.
Dak Prescott
franchise tag.
is going into the season
That-
with no. Can
bro,
you name
bro.
another quarterback in the
It
last
doesn't matter.
5
Listen,
years
that's the Cowboy
that went
way,
into
bro.
a regular season with no deal?
Bro.
None.
The Cowboys have probably used more franchise tags than any other team in the NFL. D-Law, franchise tag. Last
Who?
year, his deal.
Oh,
D-Law,
You act
Marcus
like
Lawrence.
they're
Tony
so
Pollard.
great
This-
with what they're doing,
unfortunately,
but you never
like
you
it
can't
or
just
not
pick them out of
like it,
playoffs.
this is the Cowboys' way of doing business.
I love it. I love
And I
it.
can
I'm
guarantee, I
glad
will
it's their
guarantee
way
you
to do it.
this.
Thank
I will
God.
guarantee you this.
here we are talking money
Mike
again.
is not going anywhere. CD's not going anywhere. Dak's not going anywhere. At least
The
at the
problem with the
moment-
Cowboys is they are
here's-
afraid
let
to
me
make the
get-
tough cuts. You know
Oh,
what?
you
the
ever-
problem
you
with
ever
the
see-
tough-
Hey,
bad,
Sil,
bad today.
Sis, you ever see a guy talk about somebody else's money so
Hey,
much as this
Let
guy?
me show you
Oh,
something,
he
Mark.
talks
You know
about-
what the problem with the fucking Cowboys is?
What's
Those
the problem?
guys, the problem with the Cowboys, they're afraid to make the tough cuts. And I'm going to show you why. You know what New
Yeah,
England did?
I hear you
Richard
that.
Seymour had a lot of Hall of Fame football left. What did the
He
Patriots do? They went like this. You're out. He went to Oakland, and he ended up becoming a Pro Bowler. You know
Yep,
what they
he
did to Stephon Gilmore? You want a deal? You were just named the
Yep.
coach, the corner of the year, defensive player of the year. They moved him to Carolina. Dude, they make
And
the
that's
tough
New
cuts.
England.
Look at what Kansas
You
City
ain't New
did with
England.
Snead. They move off of Snead. You guys don't move off anybody.
I'm rooting for Dallas to sign all these guys. Sign them to the most money
Yeah,
you
they'll be
can.
a 6-win team.
Please.
You
That's
know-
the funny thing. Cowboy fans don't understand. We want you to sign Dak. We want you to sign these guys because
Well,
you
here's the
are going to
difference,
pay
at
top
least.
dollar. You can't even figure out how to sign a guy with $59 million cap hit. How are you going to deal with him at $65 million?
Okay. Here's what's interesting here. Here's
Waiting on
what's
the answer.
interesting right here. At the moment, your quarterback is in drama class. And at the moment, you're not sure if he is the Jalen Hurts of 2 seasons ago or if he's freaking Carson Wentz. It's not my words. I'm not the one that's saying Carson Wentz, but I remember saying to you, what if he's like Carson Wentz, a one-year wonder, Philly? And you know I said that to you before. You are the
say that
same
about
guy
every
going into
player
that
we
season
have.
that said, I'm not
Dude,
sure
no.
about Jalen Hurts, and he has
Dude,
one
you
good
say
season,
that about
and you
every
think he's the
player we
greatest
have.
quarterback of all. Oh, hold on.
Marcos
Philly,
has lines
Philly,
just with
I let you
blanks,
talk,
just
bro.
fill in the name.
Philly, I let you talk, bro.
Yeah, you let me talk. You put a
Let-
video,
let-
audio.
let me talk. Oh, it's not so much fun when the shit's on the other foot, is it, son?
What does
not
that
so-
mean?
You are so mad.
You haven't
And
said
Dan,
anything
listening
relevant.
to Dan, I don't know that I've seen you so passionate about people shitting
Because
on people.
you really don't have a lot of room to talk about because that fucking organization hasn't done dick in 35 years.
Yep. But I will tell you, here's my
The reason
piece right
I
here.
really
You know,
think your opinion matters is because you know about drama.
I
and this is
understand it
something
completely.
The Eagles haven't had to deal with.
I believe I said when I first started coming on here, our 2 teams right now are in the same boat. We got questions at coach.
No. Eagles
Yes,
are better
we are.
off.
Yes.
By far.
You had an epic collapse, bro. What was
And they
it,
still won
39-9?
11 games.
What was that? What was the game against Tampa Bay? You got destroyed. Remember,
you want to
we
talk
weren't-
playoffs
we
now,
weren't
huh?
picked-
Now
we
you want to
weren't
talk
picked
playoffs?
to be the Super
Only
Bowl
talk
favorite,
playoffs
Philly.
when it suits you.
Philly.
When it
Philly.
suits you, do you talk playoffs? Otherwise, you avoid
I'm
playoff
not-
talk like the plague.
Bro, I said, and if you want to go back to the tapes, we can go back to the tapes. Both of our teams have a lot to prove. And I said, the arrogance that you guys have that everything is great, we are a great organization. I said there's a lot of questions about what's going on.
How are
What
the Eagles
Jalen
in the
Hurts do
same
you
boat?
have?
How
What
are
are
the
you
Eagles in
talking
the
about?
same boat as the Cowboys?
Nobody said
We're
we were
better than
Did either of us win the Super Bowl last year?
I don't understand
That football
where
team
he-
has signed all of their
You-
guys. And
Yeah,
got
they have,
all
but
of
you
their
know what?
contracts done.
All my guys
You
are
haven't.
under contract right
Hey,
now,
look,
too.
At least,
They
at
are
least
here
my
for this
team,
year.
at
They're here
least
for
my
this
team
year.
goes out and tries
And
to
I
win.
can look at it and say, take a
My
look at
team
your
tries to
cap
win.
in 2028, where you're over about $200 million right now. And
you
as
think,
you're
you
questioning-
think 2028
As you're
cap
questioning
numbers
whether
are
or
problem
not
for
you
us,
should
he
Carson
just said
Wentz.
2028. Why are you talking about the Eagles' 2028 cap number when you
Here's
can't
why,
even
Philly.
talk about the 2024 cap number of the Dallas Cowboys?
Check
You
your blood
can't
pressure,
talk
son.
about your own team. What about your team's cap number
check-
this year? You've done
check-
shit. Hey, nice running back. Get him a cane.
And guess
Let
what,
him
Philly?
reel through the
Philly.
hole.
I know you're
Come
too
on,
chicken
man.
shit to show up in
You're
Dallas
talking about
to
the
see your
Eagles
Eagles
2028
get their lunch
cap
handed
space.
to you.
Are you
But I
kidding me?
bet you that my team ends up finishing better than yours, son.
Your team ain't
Better
gonna.
than
You're gonna
yours.
finish in third. You'll be a third place finish.
You'll be behind the
Washington's
Commanders.
better than
Bro,
you.
okay. You want to come? Well, why don't you come to Dallas and
You
laugh
guys
at me?
will
then?
beat
Oh, come to
behind the
Dallas and I'll
Commanders.
bend over. Get the hell out of here.
What?
You're going to be behind
Don't
the
put your
Commanders.
ass fetishes on me, bro.
Oh, listen to Mark. He's crazy. This guy's literally just.
You're the
brought
one
up the
talking about people bending
2028
over.
You want to know
Okay.
crazy?
You
Are
talked
you
about
going to pay?
cap
Are you
number.
going to pay Dak
Who you
Prescott
get
$60
paid
million bucks?
Yeah, they will. They
Oh,
will. That's going to be the going rate, bro. Sorry. Look, Trevor freaking Lawrence getting 55 million. Are you kidding me?
Here's the
Tua's
real
going to get
question.
56,
and do you think
57.
they'll win?
Well, you know what? If everybody has to do it, it's the same thing.
Oh,
Because
what's
guess
that
what?
mean? So if I jump
You
on
may
that,
end up
jump
having to
off
get
the
rid of
bridge, I have to
Jalen Hurts
follow
and
him?
taking dead money hits, bro.
We ain't
Dude,
getting rid of Jalen Hurts.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do what the 49ers did. I'm going to pay a guy $800,000 to get the same results. I'm not going to pay a guy $55 million. And I actually like the kid down in Jacksonville, but not that much.
I don't like. Hey, bro.
You have
I
to
didn't
pay
think
him.
he
You
was
have
going to
no choice.
anywhere
You have
near
to pay
that
him.
kind of money, but it is what it is.
The
The
question
NFL is going to
why,
be printing out money,
the
bro.
question is why did the Dallas Cowboys wait until the last second to sign these guys? Why would you allow all these guys to be
That's what they
signed?
do, bro. You're
Why?
asking a leopard to change
So
their
you
spot.
mean your genius
That's the way-
organization
Bro,
that's so genius
that goes
with Jerry
all the
Jones
way back
planning
to
for you
Emmett
stay
Smith,
relevant?
bro. It
And
goes
that's
back
why
to
you
Emmett
haven't
Smith.
won in 30. That's why you have not won in 30 years. And that's why you
Oh
won't
my
win
God.
for another
And
30
so
years.
you finally win your one
That's right.
Super Bowl, and
No,
now
so
you
see,
guys are
look,
Super Bowl experts.
No.
Am I
Hey,
right
hey,
on that?
nobody said
Oh
anything
my
about Super
God.
Bowl
The
expert.
Eagles,
I
they
just
know
simply made a
everything, and that's
statement.
why they're
Look at
literally
this.
imploding.
This guy's so jealous that the Eagles are relevant in today's world and the Cowboys aren't. It's ridiculous. Like I said, the Cowboys haven't won 30 years. He gets so mad. He's like, oh, all you guys do is brag about one Super Bowl. I didn't just say anything about our Super Bowl.
It's a good,
Said
it is a
nothing
good
about it.
question by Philly. What could you possibly be talking about on a daily
what?
basis when you're a Cowboy guy and you're a creator
I-
of content? You know what? I'll tell you what.
Oh, there's
I get-
plenty to talk about. There's
What the
always
drama-
Yeah,
plenty
Dak
to talk
Prescott.
about.
Every
Speculation
video is
on
Dak
everything.
Prescott.
Are we all in? Are we not all in? It's Jerry
you know
Jones
why
and his
I'm
Oh, it's
hard on the
everything
Eagles?
Dak.
You know why I'm hard on the Eagles? I'll tell you why, Mark. Because
Why?
everything that you guys do in Dallas is the things that stop you from winning. And right now, there's a little bit of that going on in Philly,
There's a
which
lot
is
of that.
uncharacteristic,
Listen,
right, Philly?
Listen.
It's
We're not.
uncharacteristic.
Yeah, we're not perfect, and they don't do everything right that I think that they should do.
I never said
would've
they
fired
believe me.
Sirianni.
I'm critical
would've
on them and tell them they're doing stupid
I
shit.
would have fired Nick Sirianni last year. I have said this. I think, and I worry about this being a problem going into this year. However, at least my team goes out and they make plays to go out and get better. They get guys. They retain guys. And I have stuff to talk about. Mark literally has to do
So
7
at this
videos
moment,
a day,
okay,
and
real
it's
question,
undercover
real
Dak
question,
videos. All
real
he does.
question right now.
Okay, let me talk now. You said to me, let me talk. You make 8 videos a day, and they're all about Dak Prescott. Literally all. And even if it's not titled, it always comes back to Dak Prescott. You got to get off the guy's balls. Get off his balls.
Okay.
He has not won anything.
Okay.
Anything.
Okay. All right. I listen.
So you
I
talk
hear
about
I hear you.
Trevor Lawrence,
Okay,
right?
all right.
And you're like, oh, Trevor Lawrence only has 1 playoff win. He has 1 less playoff win than Dak Prescott.
Okay.
Let
I
that
hear
sink
you.
in.
Okay. Now let me. Okay. Can I? Let me play a little clip.
Oh,
And
here
I
we
want
go.
you-
Mute
just a
him.
little clip.
Mute him.
And I want you to answer because see, this is not for me.
Mute him.
Because I'm a hater. I'm going to tell you, I hate the Eagles. I am going to trash talk it. I will take it out of context.
That's why I like you.
But here's the thing.
That's why I like you, because
Here's the thing, though. Okay, this is your own people talking about your team and where they are. My first question is do you think that your team is better than the Cowboys right now?
Yes. I don't even need to wait for the clip.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. Let's do this.
I go ahead, play it. But of course they are. I think Dallas takes.
Hold on. Listen, Philly.
You do not have a good running game. Okay, go ahead.
So you think there's nothing to it? That a sideline reporter and a employee of the Eagles is going out on a 50,000 watt powerful WIP, and that's a nothing burger. Xander said it the other day on June 17th. That Hurts comment with all this stuff is not
Just
adding
listen,
up.
son.
Hurts saying the offense is 95% new. What's his name coming out saying, wait, it's not. It's about 20% new. Hurts
Just
saying,
listen,
I don't know
son.
what the role is of the head coach. Now you're having a guy come out saying they're going to start the process of looking for a new quarterback after this year if he doesn't have a good year. All of this noise does not resemble the meltdown of last year. You never addressed it because of the most important thing that you did do. You didn't change the culture in your locker room. That's what Philly's been saying, though, about Nick Sirianni. He wanted him fired at the end of the year. That's the culture.
Okay, and you don't see that as a problem that automatically you're going to be able to just get past that? And that you're a great team with all these problems?
I think it's not all these problems. I think that's a potential issue. I do.
Yeah.
But, that's why they also got new offensive.
This is a 30-year issue, Philly, with them.
Right. Ever since the cap, that team hasn't done anything. Ever since they've
but and here's what I will say at least.
They haven't done anything.
At least I can say that my offensive coordinator, the play caller, and my quarterback are on the same page in an offense that they have already been in for a year.
They haven't played one snap yet. There has not been one.
They had the same system last year. I will say that the learning curve
right now.
What I'm saying
the learning curve is going to be a lot different for you guys starting over with Kellen Moore
and Jalen Hurts' relationship is. They haven't played a snap yet. I mean, why am I supposed to assume that Jalen Hurts is going to be having a bad relationship with Kellen Moore because you didn't like Kellen Moore in Dallas? I don't understand it. He hasn't played one snap. And let me tell you something. Yes, there's issues with Jalen Hurts and maybe how he feels about Nick. And the Eagles overplayed their hand. Yeah, all true. But at the end of the day, I'm more concerned about how Jalen Hurts' relationship with Kellen Moore is than Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni has been neutered. Okay, and that's just the truth. So I'm more worried about the relationship between Kellen Moore and Jalen Hurts.
Let me throw this at you
here. Anything else.
And Philly, I want you to comment on this. And this is to you, Mark, here about the last 50 starts for Dak Prescott and this $60 million potential number. I want to compare something. And by the way, again, I get it. When the conversation of postseason comes up, the postseason obviously is something that elevates your game and who you are. But listen to the last 50 starts. Patrick Mahomes,
I already know
36 and 14. Dak Prescott, 33 and 17. Passes touchdown, 105. Dak Prescott, 105. INT, 39 for Mahomes, 38 for Dak. Passer rating, 98.9 for Mahomes, 101.3 for Dak. Yards per attempt, 7.5 for Mahomes, 7.6 for Dak Prescott. Completion percentage, 68.8 for Mahomes, 68.4 for Prescott. So in the last 50 starts, the Cowboys are getting
playoffs.
Mahomes-type numbers. And it's regular season. And you're paid on your numbers. You're not paid on wins when it comes to NFL contracts. So is this why he'll get that $60 million? And to you, Philly, do you think those numbers don't tell the true story of who he is?
Yeah. Go ahead.
He's playing Dak Prescott.
Okay. Before I get to that,
Mahomes football.
Before I get to that, I want to just revisit one question that's kind of weird. In this dynamic where the coach and the quarterback aren't getting along, didn't you have a similar situation with Carson Wentz where he literally didn't talk to the coach, I think, for 8 months or something like that? At some points, you have to wonder what's going on here, this dynamic that the quarterback and the coach don't get on the same page.
I thought it was more the coach and the GM than it was Wentz and the coach with Doug. Am I wrong, Philly?
Yeah, I think Carson and Doug Doug had his back, I think, till the end. I mean, Doug did everything he could. The issues were more, I think, maybe Howie and Carson than anything else.
So is that a front office versus the field hands issue? Something that's been carried over now to this regime.
And that's something that my friend Xander Krause brought up, was that maybe this is collateral damage from Wentz, and also the firing of Doug and the control that the front office has. Now, to Philly's point, one thing is for sure, this is uncommon for how the Eagles in this offseason is going here. And because of what happened, remember something, you played your best ball last year, the Cowboys, and still murdered. They played their worst ball in 3 years. That team looked like that 4-win team, but yet won 11 games and backed. Here's the difference. They backed out of the playoffs. You backed into the NFC East.
But remember the promise of what everybody thought the Eagles were going to that season? Coming off the
it's like
after all of the moves that you made, the same stuff everybody said about the Cowboys. They don't care about winning. They're not going out and getting players and yada, yada, yada. They stink. Nobody looked and said that team should be in the Super Bowl from what they did in the offseason. The Eagles, you guys had best offensive line, great wide receiver core, young stud quarterback, a defense that was supposed to be really, really good that turned out to be really, really ass. I'm not trying to say this as a hater. I'm looking at saying you guys were projected to be great and you ended up being average. We were projected to be average, and we ended up being average.
We weren't average. We were historical.
Actually, I will say
we were
losing the way you did down the stretch.
No,
we were below average.
We were historical. We started 10-1.
Super chats. Thank you, guys.
We started 10-1, and we looked like a team that just never quit. And then we totally fell off the face of the earth.
Just quit.
It's one of those weird historical things.
You know what aggravates me?
That happens every so often.
What? You know what aggravates me is
what's that? Besides Mark, Eagles front office.
That's not okay. That's a true thing too, because Howie's a Gator, so I won't lie. Now, but I've just like walked away from all the incompetence of 30 years and just
throwing it on the Eagles.
Wait a minute. So when it's January, what do you talk about in February? Skiing trips?
I could tell you.
Same old Cowboys. We choked.
No, January is usually Mark's January it's about 2 months of it's not Dak's fault. We will blame everybody else but Dak.
Okay.
That's it. So he goes into Dak to Dak save. No, I mean seriously, Mark, you sit there. I heard you talk about Lamar Jackson, and one of your arguments about Lamar Jackson was that he doesn't win in the playoffs. But like, how can you bring that up and throw that? And but you don't
he's in the same spot as Dak Prescott.
You hold everybody else to those
usually he's been injured going into the playoffs.
But you don't hold Dak to those standards. You only hold the people that make your argument about Dak better. No. Ask everybody in the chat. Does Mark hold Dak Prescott accountable? And I bet you 90% of people say no.
Bro, I point that out because people will say Lamar Jackson is head and shoulders above Dak Prescott. And I point out his playoff record is only one less loss than Dak Prescott's. So when I say, if you're saying that he's great, you can't turn around and say that this guy sucks ass.
But you don't
can't
hold
go around and say Trevor Lawrence deserves to get paid $55 million and Dak shouldn't get paid anything.
Why doesn't he? Why doesn't Trevor Lawrence deserve it? Based upon playoffs, he has one less playoff win than Dak.
You mean that playoff win that he threw 4 interceptions?
Mark, he has one less playoff. And what about Dak's interception?
How many times has he been a runner-up in MVP?
How
many turnovers has that guy had in his career here? He is second in the NFL. Second in the NFL.
You said Trevor Lawrence didn't deserve the money. He only has one playoff win.
When you look at what his body of work versus Dak Prescott, has Trevor Lawrence had any numbers anywhere close to Pat Mahomes'?
Mark, he's He's already got half the wins in the
Okay.
as Dak.
Hey, let me ask you this.
Time.
Let me ask this question, Mark.
He
Jalen
avoids
Hurts-
the question, Sills. You
I'm not
see
going
it?
to avoid the question. He's
Hey,
been
like he
in the
goes
playoffs
into
one
reboot.
time out of 3 years.
Mark,
One
if
time
Dak,
out of 3 years.
if Jalen Hurts was a starting quarterback in Dallas, how many wins would they have this year?
Wait a minute. Say that again.
If Jalen Hurts was a starting quarterback in
shit.
Dallas, how many wins would they have
Bro,
this year?
With the running game we have, we would
Yeah.
have a losing season.
If Dak Prescott was the starting
Flat out.
quarterback, if Dak Prescott was the starting quarterback in Philly,
Oh, you
How
would be
many
doing
wins
a
would
lot better
Philly
than
have?
with Jalen Hurts because at least he knows Kellen Moore's system.
I
He
disagree.
understands combination routes
I
and everything
disagree
else.
more.
And
I
Of
disagree.
course you disagree. Bro,
you think he throw for 5,000 yards?
You had those green colored glasses when you literally think that your secondary is going to be better than the Cowboys.
It is going to be.
You don't
but
have
it
any
has nothing-
credibility when you
it-
say some stupid shit like that.
Listen, dude, you can't talk about credibility when you sit there and you make excuse after excuse about the same guy. You would rather Dak Prescott be on the Cowboys and lose than the Cowboys win. It's the truth. I'm sorry. I say this to you all the time.
If we had a better option,
you make nothing but listen. Dak
I tell you
Prescott
what.
on the Eagles.
No.
You know what, Sills? They probably don't get out of the first round of the playoffs. There's nothing about Dak Prescott that has showed me that he can win those big games. So until I see it, like Kirk Cousins, to me, he is not a big game quarterback.
That team 3 years ago,
that's
that
just the
Cowboys
case.
team 3 years ago had a ton of talent on it.
They did, but here's the problem. Here's the problem. At least as I see it. Okay,
Here you go, and it's everybody else but Dak. Watch this. Watch this.
No.
Watch this. Watch this.
You know, you have to
ahead,
learn. You have to learn to win. Bottom line. And for whatever reason, they have a mental block and things like that. Now, with that being said, the thing that I wish the Cowboys were more Eagle-esque is when you guys lose a player during the season, you are out there hunting to try and fill that gap in there. When I see you go out and get a Robert Quinn, even though that one didn't work out, or Ndamukong Suh, you say we have a need because we lost a player. The Cowboys don't do that. We lost Overshown, who was a rookie in training camp.
They're horrible in free agency.
Yeah, and we got Leighton Vander Esch that we all know is one hit away from being gone. They lose him in week 3, and we never replace it.
Mark, Mark, here's the problem. You build your team like you're still in the 90s by looking at the draft as being more of a priority than where you can get players in free agency and fill. Here's what they don't do. Their core group of guys, they've overestimated them. And here's what I mean by that. Look, I think I get killed on this one too. Personally, I think that Micah is a good player. Is he a $35 million? Is that Joey Bosa when I look at him impact? I don't see that. But on a better team with better defensive tackles, he's probably that guy. Yes. But on that defense that can't stop the run, he wears down. And by the end of the year, you know what you have? A finesse ball player
that can't make plays. And that is the Cowboys' failure by the time they get to playoffs. I
got to call
Philly, yeah, you know what? I hear all the shit that you want to put it all in
bullshit,
else.
It's all
but
bullshit.
See, it's the same thing.
All these excuses are just wrapping all these things. It's the front office. They don't know guys when they're injured. It's all wrapped around protecting Dak. Let me ask you this. Green Bay versus Dallas in Dallas. Dallas is second seed. Did CeeDee Lamb play? Yes, he did.
He did.
Why did it look like Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb never played?
I don't know where his mind was because he was literally checked out in the beginning.
I'll tell you what happened. Dak Prescott, big game. That's what happened.
Okay, if you say so.
He choked.
Yeah, I believe that, Mark. But, Mark, it did look like they had a conflict between the two of them.
They did. And I don't know what the hell was going on because CD was just kind of like, I'm just kind of.
Wasn't he going, what's going on? To me, it looked like, what's going on?
And CeeDee Lamb's mom even came out and said, what, that Dak Prescott's trash? I mean, come on, man. I mean, we all know it. Your quarterback has to show he can win in a big game. That's it.
Here's the interesting thing about that one is, evidently he don't listen to mama because if he wanted out of Dallas, he wouldn't be holding out for a new contract. Because if he gets a new contract, he ain't going anywhere.
Why would I leave the Cowboys when I'm
wrong.
making $60 million a year?
Dak will be going. He knows Dak. He knows Dak's days are numbered. I mean, I don't think Dak's got long.
And you know what?
Left.
if I were
think
Dak
maybe a
Prescott,
year
if
or
I were
two.
Dak Prescott, I would love to be in the position that he's actually in.
Oh God, I
Because
don't. I want Dak to stay in Dallas. Please stay in Dallas. It means that you're not winning.
Mark, I'll
It's
tell you what.
assured.
Here's the advantage on both ends of that with Dak. If I'm Dak Prescott, say I don't win, I'm going to make more money in Dallas because you know why? I'm the biggest movie star in America because I am the most watched guy on TV. That doesn't mean I'm going to win, but if I want to go to Tennessee and I want to go to some of those places, I'm not making the exposure money that I make in Dallas. You've got to get out of Dallas if you're Dak. If you want to win, you got to get out of Dallas.
Right, and that would be the move to make. Is I need a team kind of like what the Rams did. I need a ready-built team that actually is going to support the quarterback and do.
I can't wait.
The 49ers.
I don't want to say it. You know, like the
wait.
49ers do, bringing in people like the Eagles try to do. Unfortunately, now you got a little bit of drama with all these hired hands.
It'll all.
But I stick by my prediction of the Eagles going 8-9 this season.
You know, there's nothing wrong.
Philly.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll make a bet about that. Let's bet that. I'll bet that. Eagles go 8-9. Now, Eagles will have at least 9 wins or more. Easy. So I'll bet you we'll make that bet. I like that bet.
Mark, I got to ask you though, where are you getting your run game, and who's your 2 and 3 wide out? And your old line is not the same. You've got a new center, and I like the pick from K-State.
Here's the misnomer.
This ain't the Big 12, dude. This is
I hear what you're saying, but bro, our offensive line has been in flux since Travis Frederick had Hillian bars. Our offensive line has not been like the Eagles, which has been stout. I have to give you credit. You have an incredible offensive line. But remember, we brought in Jason Peters at the point where he couldn't play more than 15 plays in a game and had to have him as a starter. We've had
they get ahead of that problem in Philly.
Like everybody doesn't have injuries.
Wait a minute. Mark, they get ahead of that problem. They get ahead of that problem. Here's the 2 things that
that's where hopefully they're getting ahead of it now. If it ends up working
out. And
they
signed your guys.
Well, we've signed all of our free agents, guys.
You got no free agents. What are you talking about?
We just signed 2.
Look at what they did. Look at what they did. They signed A.J. Brown.
Mark just went in shutdown mode right there.
Jordan Mailata, signed Bryce Huff, and they did all this while you guys are still waiting around for CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott and Micah Parsons. It's June 19th. You got 34 days.
They will all be playing this year. I can guarantee.
Yeah, but
that.
Mark, Mark,
later in your favorite player
is Eagle fans want Dak Prescott.
Your idea is doing it this way, okay? Because see, here's the thing I can say is I can look at a move like what the Cowboys did and bringing in somebody like Malik Hooker, as opposed to you guys going out and getting your big name safeties, Big Play Slay and Bradbury and all these guys. I can look at how much the Cowboys actually played Malik. I know they're corners, but I'm just saying in free agency. I can look and say that Malik Hooker has been an incredible free agent for the Cowboys for 3 years. And I can look and see how much money you got tied up with these guys. And you're like, do we want to keep these old ass guys? Can we trade them? Do we need to cut them? You're dealing with all the drama. Not every free agent move that you've made has been great.
But they've been financially responsible.
You can laugh about, our free agent signings of UFL.
Mark, you're missing the point. The Eagles are financially responsible. You're not. The longer you wait, the higher market price you're paying.
Bro, but you got a ticking time bomb that's going to happen down the road.
What's that? What's that ticking time bomb?
Well, if Jalen Hurts, if it is going to be Carson Wentz, I know, Dan, you say if you can find somebody to trade for him, that'll trade for that contract. I don't know that somebody is going to if he implodes this year.
Let me tell you something about Howard Eskin. Howard Eskin does work for the Eagles, and he does the fact that he said something probably means that the Eagles weren't happy about something, but he makes outlandish comments. I mean, saying that he's like Carson Wentz is ridiculous. I don't believe that for one instant, because if anybody goes, it's going to be Nick Sirianni before Jalen Hurts. If we're talking about a bad season, it's going to be Nick Sirianni that goes. He's going to take the weight of it no matter
Philly,
what.
Why are they protecting him so much, Nick Sirianni?
Because they're not protecting him, Dan. I think they're protecting their ego. I think they're protecting their decision.
I agree with them.
I think they wanted
But
to
why
fire
throw your
Nick.
quarterback under the
but they-
bus?
Wait, what?
$50 million. That's why I'm paying you $50 million. You need to play
the
along.
reason why the Eagles were upset
Then you're
was
going to make
because
him look
they
like
wanted,
ass
they
and look
wanted
like
Jalen Hurts.
he's a punk?
They wanted Jalen Hurts to go out there and give Nick,
I agree.
more of
Right.
a voucher.
Being
And
a
he
team
did
guy.
it. And so they were
Okay,
upset.
but
But if they just would have not said anything
Philly,
and
that
just
would have
let
been
it
the best
die,
thing.
hang on,
nobody would have forgotten.
Mark, Philly, we're going to wrap this up here. But Philly, this is what I think happened. It was poor timing because during the season, I want my quarterback throwing people under a bus, and I want some shit being said about guys and coaches not happening. On June 17th, the other day when that was said, you needed the guy to play along and go, hey, Nick's doing a great job. He's overseeing everything.
That's what they wanted.
It was poor timing. And you got to do shit sometimes when you're a quarterback. And this is what I think Dak does pretty well. One thing Dak does well, man, he tries not to create as much drama in that building as possible for the Cowboys, where they can have drama every day. Look at this guy. This guy's going to create 17 fucking videos of drama if they could. But he tries to at least suppress that. They wanted Jalen, and I agree with you, Philly. They wanted Jalen to go out there instead of saying, I don't know what Nick's role is as a head coach. They wanted him to go. He's overseeing everything. I think personally it was poor timing, and I think this aggravated, like Jeff McClain said last week, and I think they threw a cannonball across the table about him to get him online going, you need to play along here.
Well, a few days ago, still, I was like, the front office was upset. I was like, whatever. But when Howard came out and made his comments, then I knew that there has to be something to it. I don't know what level, but there's something to it. I think it's June. I also think there's not a lot going on. You get in a camp, you get in a preseason, you get in a game, you win games. All this stuff quickly goes away.
But this isn't media made, Mark. Hey, Philly.
No, I don't think it's
player. This is player talking at a press conference.
I think initially it was media made, but then the Eagles gave it validity.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
They could have just ignored it, and it wouldn't be anywhere near as big as it
away.
is.
I agree.
And it was just like, wait a minute, now why are you throwing the quarterback?
But this is what Philly says about them protecting their identity, Mark. This is the one thing that the Eagles are now going through that I think gets in the way a little bit of their success this year is the shit that gets in the way of yours, which is this. They allowed something to fester and then they expanded it, which they didn't need to. They didn't need to have that conversation about, hey, wait a minute. No, the coach, it's old meshing of the new. And Jalen's going, no, this is a brand new offense. I think Jalen was telling the truth. But the ownership didn't want Nick to look bad because of what Philly said. This goes back to Doug. They've got to validate
exactly
that guy.
Right. Exactly. They let Doug go after winning a Super Bowl, going 3 straight playoffs, and then Nick Sirianni goes to the Super Bowl last year. They didn't want to look like, wow, we fire these guys really quick. So they didn't fire Nick. I believe that's one of the main reasons why they didn't fire Nick, was because they didn't want to look like a team that is willing to cut their losses with a coach very quickly.
See what he's saying?
Oh, am I part of this conversation?
Wait, the Eagles don't like drama. You do.
Oh, Jerry says, I like to stir shit up.
But that gets in the way of your success.
You're preaching to the choir, but you know what?
I hate when you do that because you just let that go by because you're a Cowboys.
Bro, you've been
married. The only place in America that winning doesn't matter is Dallas, Texas.
Bro, you've been married for a long time, and I'm sure you love your wife to death. But
sometimes.
There's some shit about her that you can't stand. But you take the good.
I've never met a person I hated more and I loved more in my life.
There you go.
My 34-year marriage to my wife. Okay?
There you go. See? And that's what I'm saying. I can't say I like everything the Cowboys do. I don't. Believe me, I want to see them win. I would like to see the Cowboys sign more free agents.
But when I was younger, I was 27 pounds and I had 3 Super Bowl rings and I was winning all those. Those days are long gone. I'm a fat old guy now, man. That shit's gone. I forgot all about that guy. Don't you get tired of talking about yourself when you were 22 years old?
Nope.
That's what the Cowboys are.
Nope.
Hey, man, we were really good back in the day when MySpace was a thing.
Yeah. That was before MySpace.
It was before MySpace. I don't even think they had YouTube yet, right?
All right. Philly,
I had
tell
fun
the
with
folks
this
where they can
today.
find you, bro.
You just type in Philly.500 or Philly.500, knock it out, Mark Holmes, and I will come up right away.
Mark Holmes, tell folks how they can find your
Just
fabulous.
look for Philly.500's daddy and you'll find me. No, actually, JAKIB Sports Report. And hopefully we'll be in training camp with Dan Sileo broadcasting, and definitely.
Hey, Mark, do me a favor.
challenge.
Text me, and I'll set that because we're going to set the Cowboys and the Rams thing up if you want to do that.
Do they have joint practices?
Yes, they're going to have joint practice.
Hey, Philly, if you want to come down, I'll get you a hotel room down there around the corner. They got hotel rooms, the Cowboys do, that they give me a couple rooms for my friends if we go there and broadcast. So you can hang out there. Bring your kid down if you want.
Okay, we definitely need to do that.
We'll let you know. Yeah.
But hey,
wait a minute. Are you gonna blow us off? Or you, because Philly's he's not that he can get down there. It's a car ride for him. It's a jaunt.
I'll see.
I'm talking you, dude. Because Philly tells me you bail. He'll do this. He'll set a bet up, and then 24 hours before, all of a sudden you come down with malaria.
He bails or changes it.
That's some bullshit there. Okay.
Mark edits. Sorry. Mark
that's some bullshit. Okay. I will send you my flight information for when I'm just waiting for the practice schedule to know exactly when we're going to be coming. The Rams game, I believe, is the 10th of August. I'm not sure.
If Dak Prescott has a bad practice. I can't wait. The video that I wait the most for is the day that the Cowboys and Dak cut ties. I want to see that video that Mark makes.
Yep.
It is going to be
Cooper Rush.
Going to be epic.
Cooper Rush.
Well, apparently it's not going to be Trey Lance, because Trey Lance has been looking like.
I thought
he'd take advantage of this time. He didn't.
He's looking like T.O. Hurts.
I think it's too early to say these things. Like we don't know yet, to be honest. It's summer. Let's get to camp.
Which one is it?
Let's get to camp.
Is it Jalen Owens?
You don't think he's like that Jamarcus Russell?
On the scissor.
You got to drink that grape thing.
Yeah, the scissor. Yeah, there you go.
Okay, guys, thank you so much.
Thank you,
man. Philly. Thank you,
so
much for finding.
Thank you, man.
Hit the like button, people. 200 likes.
You guys.
Thank you.
I love you guys very much. Don't forget, Mark Holmes does a great job covering the Dallas Cowboys. Also, our boy, Philly.500. Hit the like button. You guys were spectacular. Just great stuff. Hit the like button. Xander Krause will join us at the bottom of the hour. Don't forget Merrill Reese, the voice of the Eagles, will join us at 5:30 Eastern. Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.